Yo, 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 what's going on, great people in all the great land? You already know who it is. It's your guy, Nicholas Wilcox. It's your guy, Johnny Main. Your favorite fantasy football homeboys in the building. Is week 15 of the fantasy football season in the NFL. We got your DFS, props, bets, starts, sits, show. Johnny, say what's up to the great people.
Happy week 15 playoffs, unless you've gone against Kyle Pitts. If so, Godspeed on this Sunday. Pour out a little liquor for my homies, and I'm one of them. Nick Wilcox, Kyle Pitt and me in classic Nick Wilcox fashion.
Cheers, brother.
Oh, man. Golly, bro. Golly. Anyways, yes, happy week 15, man. Glad to see everybody, man. Glad to be here. Happy to be in the playoffs in a few leagues. Wish it was a little bit more, but you know what? Hey, man, we're here to help you guys out. Like I said, Kyle Pitts went upside your head. We're here to help you. Shit, I'm going to be asking Nick for some help today on how I can get un-Kyle Pitts this morning.
Good luck, pal. Good luck, as always. I always say, if it can't be me, it better be you. So, That being said, please like, subscribe to the channel, please, as you come on in and file on in, whether you're on X, you're on Facebook. Show some love to the YouTube channel, please. Like, subscribe to the channel. That really helps us out. Please do so. As we get y'all ready for the first round, the fantasy football playoffs, we're going to break it down game by game. For all those that aren't in the playoffs, we're going to get you ready for DFS. So first games first, we got the Bills, the Patriots, the Bills going into Gillette to take on the Patriots. The Bills are getting 2.5 as a favorite. Bills are 9-4, basically need this game to have any type of shot still at the division. The Patriots 11-2 coming off the bye. The over-under 48.5. It's been going up. It's been going down. Been seeing it trend up, go down. But right now, 48.5 for this game. Johnny, your thoughts on this game overall? What you have to say? What you're seeing? Who you got for this game?
I mean, it's kind of hard to go against the Patriots, man. At 11-2 so far this year, man. We know the Bills have been a team that's been up and down all season long. You know what I mean? And then the other element of this too is, Josh Allen away from home. I think is another piece of this puzzle as well that we have to take into consideration. So, yeah, man, crazy stuff. Just like in this game, all the way across the board, man. Went back, did a little bit of research. Josh Allen, man. I mean, other than the last game, which the Patriots were able to win. 253 yards, 1 pick, 2 touchdowns. But other than that, man, Josh Allen has not played well over the last, 4 games here. He's only played in, I think one of these games. Yeah, I mean, even if you go back to December of 2023, 169 and 1 pick. December 22nd of 2004, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Didn't play in the game in January because the Bills had everything locked up. And even in this most recent game, 253, 2 touchdowns and a pick. He did have 53 yards rushing. The guy that I'm really the most interested in, honestly, in this game is actually Dalton Kincaid from a DFS side of things. That's who I'm super interested in that space. I do like Josh Allen a little bit today, man. I think obviously this is one of those spaces where you should see him put on his cape and give you his best Superman impression. For sure. And then this is also a game too, man, with Drake May and obviously Josh Allen. This game could determine the league MVP. Drake May's thrown for 240 passing yards 10 times this season. That's the most of any quarterback this year. So yeah, man, I think this really could determine it all, man. It could determine it all as far as the league MVP. So yeah, obviously James Cook has got to be in play today, and then Travion Henderson has surprising ownership on DraftKings and on FanDuel. He's barely being played at like 2%. So I think that's an interesting space to be at. And then you obviously have the Patriot pass catchers as well, who I feel like, the 48.5 over under, definitely some pieces to be had here. I think both of these offenses, have players that, it could go either direction, right? Like the Bills have actually been pretty decent against tight ends. So I know Hunter Henry, somebody that most people are looking at. But yeah, I like the Patriots, man, in this one right here. It's kind of hard for me to move off of them, man.
Yep. I would say when it comes to this matchup, it's something I looked at with the Bills. Like, they're still a defense that allows sixth most rushing yards per game. That's 109 yards per game. Bills also allow the second most yards per carry to opposing man gap concepts. So what that just means is that Stevenson and Henderson especially should overall have a good way of this one. And I'm just trying to understand why Buffalo's a favorite in this one.
Yeah.
Because it's like Patriots come off the bye. They're at home. They beat them in Buffalo already. This just feels like a spot where the public's going to heavily get on the Patriots. I'm saying Buffalo. The reason why is I just think that Buffalo, they have all the pieces to kind of get this one done. They know they need this one. And if they know they don't, they know they're asked out for the division. For as much as the Patriots have been playing good all season, I do think Buffalo's defense has been shoring up via the pass. So I know it's Stephon Diggs' revenge game as well. So there's a lot of things aside with New England, but for some reason, my gut's telling me go Buffalo, and I'm going Buffalo. Next one we got the Ravens, the Bengals. Ravens have to win this one to keep their playoff hopes alive. Bengals are already done. Over under 51.5 in Cincinnati. For the Ravens, like Lamar, since he's been back from injury, he's been dead last in accuracy rate. Before he was a top 5 quarterback in that realm. So I don't know what it is with Lamar. I did see some positive signs in Pittsburgh this past week. So for 6,400 on DraftKings, like I think he's someone that you can get away with and kind of see where it goes with everybody kind of on Burrow and other, all these other quarterbacks and stuff. I think Lamar can get there from not only from an ownership perspective, but also if the game goes off like we think it's going to, I think Lamar is going to be someone that I think people will regret not getting in their lineups more. Obviously, the matchup is there. Top 3 quarterback matchup for quarterbacks is Cincinnati. They are dead last historically right now against tight ends. So Andrews, especially Isaiah Likely in this matchup, 3,900 on DraftKings for Andrews, 3,400 on DraftKings for Likely. The question for a GPP in this situation is Derrick Henry, because Cincinnati's also bad against the run. They're not historically bad, but they've been pretty much bottom of the league almost all year. So Derrick Henry, I think he's 7,300 on DraftKings today. Like all these pieces make a ton of sense for the Ravens today, and I think they're going to take this one in this game. Slightly like the over because, again, Cincinnati's going to have to keep on throwing. Burrow, he's been chucking constantly, and he's also talked about that in the media, that like it just feels like he's not getting much help at all. We've known this, and I've said this before the even season started. Like, does he end up being in Cincinnati for long term? That's another discussion for another day, but it's something that I think he has to ponder, because it's like, he's not getting the help that he needs and warrants for a guy like his caliber in his prime. But I'm taking the Ravens in this one because I think they're desperate for a win. They have to keep on winning to have opportunities for playoff hopes. And I just think Cincinnati's defense is this bad. So your thoughts?
I'm going to go with Cincy, man. I think still, like, I said it last week.
Because they beat your boys a couple weeks back.
No, like I think there's a couple reasons, man. I think like with Cincy,
you don't want to see the Ravens again, do you?
No, I don't mind them. The Steelers, man, have actually historically have done an actually pretty good job against Lamar. So like that's not a concern for me. Like I just think the Cincinnati, this is a team that, like, if this was week what, 11 or week 10, I think we would all have a different feeling about the Cincinnati Bengal team. Like defensively, like we all know they've been bad. They've been bad for the last 2.5 years on the defensive side of the ball. So that's no shock. That's no surprise. I think like, one of the big things is obviously like them not having T Higgins. And I agree with Rob. I don't think Joe's ever leaving Cincinnati. I think it's just one of those things where, you want to see it out. I mean, so I think there's that. And then I do agree with you with Derrick Henry today. He's one of my favorite plays in DFS today. Like I think this is a good situation for him. And you were talking about Lamar Jackson, and I would say like, for me, like Lamar Jackson over the last 3 weeks, he's 18th in the league in adjusted completion percentage. He has thrown for 618 yards. He doesn't have any 300-yard passing games. And, obviously he's played against the Steelers. He's played against the Ravens, which both of those defenses leave a lot to be desired when you think about them defensively. So I think like for me, like if he hasn't been able to get it rolling like in that space, I don't know what really changes today for him to get.
It's just rolling. The matchup. I think that's where it's like, with Lamar, I think it's the matchup is here. And if it's not now, like when everything's kind of pointing in that direction, it's like, why'd you draft Lamar anyway in this spot? Like, had him all this time too. So it's like, this is the matchup where it's like, you've got to find out if it's there, because guess what? If you have Lamar and you're benching him in season long, depending on what you got for option, and then Lamar goes off for 50 in this spot, you're going to be like tossing and turning for the next year.
I agree. Like, I agree with that statement for sure. I just don't know when we're going to see it, man. Like he's got one passing touchdown since week 12, I believe is what I'm looking at. So like I don't know what you can expect. He's got one rushing touchdown and one passing touchdown from week 12 to week 14. So and again, it is the matchup, man. I get it. And I think it just depends on who you have as at quarterback, man, on your roster. You know what I mean? I think that's something else. But I do like Cincinnati, man. They almost pulled off the upset last week in Buffalo. They've already pulled off the upset already against the Ravens. This time they're at home. I just think this is a scary team that I don't think a lot of teams want to see and want to face. So I'll definitely take the points for the Bengals for sure in this space. And then when we look at things from a DFS side of things, obviously I'm talking DraftKings with everybody, but I'm going to be playing on FanDuel because I've just been getting absolutely annihilated on DraftKings over the last 3 weeks. And I said, you know what, man, like, let me switch it up. Jamar Chase, 23% on. Mitch Tinsley, that's a name right there, man. That's
a solid favorite of the week.
Yeah, definitely a free square for sure. And then Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, and Mark Andrews all coming in respectively at 12% on DraftKings. I do like Mark Andrews today. I do think that's a really good spot. I think obviously a lot of people in the industry and just in general have talked about Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely just because the Bengals have been historically bad versus the tight end this year. So I think those are a couple plays, or I didn't even look to see like what you had. I don't want to steal any of your thunder if it's in here, but like maybe you look at one of those guys for an anytime touchdown just in that space. So so I'll take the Bengals, man.
I hear that. You watch WWE? Yeah, but we're not going to talk about it today. Rick, good morning to you, brother.
What's up, bro?
Hello, people. Good morning. Let's get some dubs. You right? Let's go. Let's get it. It's game time. Put up or shut up, or in this case, nut up or shut up. Let's go. Thoughts on Fannin today? Is he getting 20+ points? We'll break that down a little bit. What we thoughts about Fannin, so definitely stay tuned on that. I don't know, man, Rob. I don't know, man. I get this sneaky suspicion that like it could definitely happen. And then look, this is something that I think this is a leverage play for sure in this matchup. Like, that people aren't going to get enough to, in my opinion. So I definitely agree with Rick on that. To a crap game. Well, in this situation, the Jets, the Jags. Jets 14 points as a dog going into Jacksonville. Jacksonville leading the division at the moment for the AFC South. And who would have thunk it? Your boy Trevor Lawrence on a heater. But in terms of how the Jets have been, we'll just talk about how bad they've been. The Jets overall, like, they have been a run funnel defense since Quentin Williams has left via trade. They've been a top 5 run funnel since he's left. New York allows the 3rd most fantasy points per game to opposing running backs, the 3rd most rushing yards per game. That's 139.5 as a team. And oh, by the way, pretty much lock of the slate for me almost. Travis Etienne, he's the RB11 on season, averaging 6.4 fantasy, points per game the last 6 games. And like I said, now face a Jets defense that is a top 5 run funnel. Outside of that, like you could play other pieces, but it becomes like, can the Jets with Brady Cook starting at quarterback? Obviously with no Tyrod and no Fields via injury today. Look, it's just bad in New York, and that's totally fine. I think this line like can some weird things happen via special teams, because that's how the Jets have found sometimes the way to somehow be in a game all of a sudden is a special teams touchdown. Like the Jets have really decent special teams, but other than that, if they don't get something like that in this game, they're long goners anyway. Do we dare play Breece Hall in this matchup? It's possible. I just don't know how Brady Cook is going to be, as viable in this spot. Like we'll just he could surprise us, whatever, maybe. But Jacksonville's defense is still an opportunistic defense. This is still a spot for them to get plenty of turnovers. So yeah, look, I mean, I'm not touching the spread in this one because again, the Jaguars need this one anyway. But it's any given Sunday in these situations. So give me the Jags in this spot. Give me Travis Etienne for your DFS lineup, 6,500 on DraftKings, and Bashawn Tuin. He kind of was in the doghouse this past game, but he probably could still see some run anyway, especially if Jacksonville gets out to one of their classic, like first time half leads, which it feels like they do over the last 4 games. So this is totally a spot where, again, I think Travis Etienne probably becomes extreme chalk, but it's something where it's, in my opinion, it's a good chalk among other running back plays today. And I'll take the slight over because, again, some weird things can always happen. So what you got for us, Johnny?
Yeah, I agree with you, man. Like in that space, everything that you said. Couple really random one-offs. Brenton Strange today. Seems like that's a really good place to get to.
I was there last week, but whatever. Might be too early.
Right. Well, look, weird thing, historically going back and looking at these games, they played in 2024 and then in 2022. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence was a quarterback in 2022, Mac Jones in 2024. The Jets, we all know what their story is. They never have the same quarterback, so it's not really fair to kind of judge them on that. But Brenton Strange last year had 11 catches for 73 yards. So I looking at this, I'm kind of all right, maybe this is a place. Okay. All right. There it is. There it is.
They say book it. She said book it. She said book it.
Stand up all the 40-year-olds.
Standing on business.
Yeah, I love it. I love it, man. I love it. So Brenton Strange, I'm a big fan of his today. I'm a big fan of anybody wearing a Jacksonville Jags uniform today. I think they definitely. Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Go ahead. Continue.
Yeah. Last week, I put all my chips on the table for Tyrod Taylor, Breece Hall, and only thing I got was a nice deposit slip from my bank, saying thank you for the deposit to your FanDuel and DraftKings account. So so I again, man, I'm a fan of anybody in a Jags uniform today. I'm even giving Brian Thomas Jr. Another shot today. That's how confident I'm feeling about the Jags.
You're starting them in your season longs today, right?
No, because of course my only season long league team, that one is done because it had Brian Thomas Jr. on it, so you can definitely thank him for that. Oh man, but yeah, Trevor Lawrence, man, again, he's been playing really good ball. Yeah, Trevor Lawrence has been playing really good ball over the last couple of weeks as well. So yeah, I'm all in on him, man. 729 yards over the last couple games as far as his performance goes. So let's do it with the Jags, man. I'm not going to waste any time or any more of anybody else's time. This should be an open and shut case. Should have the Jags defense out there as well, made in DFS, or if you're playing them in a season long, this is obviously a great situation. A lot of games on the spread today, man, with double digit spreads, man. And I was looking at that and I was like, oh boy. I was like, you know, when it looks like it's too easy, something's gonna go upside down.
Nope, something else is gonna happen. You already know the curve's about to, the pivot is about to come.
Yeah.
Michelle calling her shot today with Phillip Rivers. I don't mind it at all. For sure. And talk about her Cowgirls. The Cowboys going to dominate tonight. We'll see about that. If you want to hear our opinions, make sure you listen to our reaction show and Sunday Night Football tonight, and we'll break that down for you as well. Ken's talking about just feed to it, throw the football. No ETN from today. Is the Jags John Cena and the Jets Gunther? Shut up. We're going to move on here. So, Michelle, please subscribe to the channel, please. We got your back. And yes, the Cowgirls, our nickname for the Cowboys. We just talked about my team, the sorry-ass Jets. So feel free to bring them on the comments. Talking about the Chargers Chiefs, though. So talk about another team that needs to win in order to have their playoff opportunities still intact. Chargers getting 6 going to Kansas City, over under 41.5. In this matchup, we're talking about schematics in this one with the Chargers here. They've been a really decent pass defense. The only thing with this spot is that Kansas City, man, they just I think historically these things are always an interesting thing to look at. My note to see is that again, Chargers play zone coverage at a 78% clip. So this is going to be a good spot for Kelsey, Rice, for where they do work best against zones. We may see a sprinkle of man coverages because you see these guys over and over again, see different tapes, see different stuff. They know that their strengths and weaknesses are. So we might see a little bit more man coverage potentially in this spot, but I do think schematically, zone coverage, I think this should be a spot where Mahomes is going to keep on throwing. They overall will have opportunities to, hit their marks when it comes to all season long perspectives. If you're starting Rice, if you're starting Kelsey, Mahomes, obviously. And then on the other side, in terms of both of these guys, teams, when it comes to offensive lines, they've been shape-shifting constantly over the last 4 because of all these injuries, especially with Herbert. Just feels like every week there's an offensive line that just goes down for them. And Herbert, as well as the Eagles played this past week, they still lost to the Chargers. So kudos to them for getting it done. But it's still something I'm not very confident about. The Kansas City Chiefs defensive line, with Chris Jones leading it, I think it's still a really good solid unit. I'm just gonna take the Chiefs in this spot. They have to win in this spot. This is do or die literally for them, and then they'll need some help along the stretch. So give me the over, give me the Chiefs. What you got for that, Johnny?
A couple things I'll add on just to reinforce some of your points, man. Patrick Mahomes is 6-0 in his career when he's been facing a 3-game losing streak within a season. So I think this is obviously a really good spot when you talk about this is do or die, for the Kansas City Chiefs. And then the Chargers offensive line, they've used 15 different combinations for at least 10 snaps. The only team that's in that same ballpark is the Minnesota Vikings. So the fact that even the Chargers are even, where they're at right now at this point in time in the season in comparison to the Vikings, I think says a lot. But yeah, I do like the Chiefs in this spot for sure. I can't remember. I think I'd seen a stat with Kareem Hunt. Just I feel like he's had a touchdown in every single game over the last 5 or 6 except for one. So that, so that's a really good spot to be in. And then you look at Travis Kelce, 17 targets over the last couple weeks, 10 catches for 96 yards. So he's really not going anywhere. We talk about the OGs. He's another one there. And then Rashee Rice, third most targets in the NFL over the last 3 weeks or so. So this definitely feels like a Patrick Mahomes spot for sure. It definitely feels like a Kansas City Chiefs spot as far as bouncing back. Then when you look at DFS, a lot of lot of weird stuff. Rashee Rice, like not a lot of people are playing these guys on DraftKings. Rashee Rice is the highest owned player at 7%, followed by the team defenses. And then you also have Omarion Hampton, who's back in the mix of things. I know this. I know the offensive line is what it is, but they found a way to get him involved in the passing game a little bit on Monday night as well. So I think that's one of the things that like we were asking for and begging for was for him to be involved a little bit more in the passing game. So I don't know. I think he's a really interesting play today, just in DFS. Obviously, in season long, chances are you've been waiting on him this long. You got to pull him out. But yeah, I like the Chiefs in this spot, man, for sure.
Okay, cool.
Going up, it looks like, huh?
Yep. Sutton or Watson today?
Ah, man. Dude, I can't even
guy from last year, and I got you too early on last year.
I literally, that's like after the Kyle Pitts, like this week, man, I just like went on a rampage and just like, nothing like being too early.
Being too early.
I think today, I'm going to go with Cortland Sutton. And the reason why I think I'm going to go with Cortland Sutton this week is because I do think Christian Watson is probably going to end up drawing Patrick Surtain today is what I think. I think that makes the most. I think that makes the most sense. If it wasn't for that, then I would definitely be in on Christian Watson today. But I think Cortland Sutton's the guy for me today.
Yep. All right. Yeah, I'm in agreement. I like Watson. I think the Packers getting a little bit more healthier from a receiver game. It's going to give us a little bit more options today. It may not have to Watson's going to find his way probably down deep, probably at least one time in this game. But
for sure,
I think the volume, it's still a bit concerning across the board if he doesn't get that touchdown. So Cortland Sutton, I think might be the better play in which in this overall conversation. And good morning, Andrew. Appreciate you coming on, brother. Please like, subscribe to the channel if it's your first time here. Chasing upside this week since I played against Pitt.
Welcome to the club, bro. Welcome to the club.
I have Dallas Goedert, Kobe Parkinson, and Isaiah Likely torn on who to start. Rams going against a injured Lions D, and the Ravens playing Cincy. In my head, it's weird because I do like Dallas Goedert if there's any shape or form how the Raiders may find themselves in this game, and then Kobe Parkinson obviously is also a spot because the high over under. But give me Isaiah Likely for as crazy as that sounds because it's just Isaiah Likely has shown the upside if you're really aiming for that. I think Dallas Goedert and Parkinson can both get you touchdowns. Like either of those guys get you like 4 catches, 40 yards, and a touchdown. I think Isaiah Likely can get you like 6 catches, 95 yards, and a touchdown. Like I just think the upside for Likely might be there in that spot. And again, with the over under in that spot too, makes a ton of sense. We talked about Lamar and potentially the bounce back in this spot today. So call me a Ravens fan today. But just give me Isaiah Likely in this spot.
You're gross. You nasty. You nasty.
I had to put that in there just for you, Johnny.
I know. As much as it pains me to agree with Nick in this.
Oh, it pains you. Where?
Yeah. Just because the fact that like I'm actually having to agree with you and having to agree with you about a Raven, it's like it's double. And we're talking about Kyle Pitts. It's just making it even worse. But I do agree though, man. I think Likely's your best play, especially if you're chasing upside at this point. I think like with Goddard and with Parkinson, it's if you get a touchdown from both of them, you'd be happy. I think Goddard would probably give you a little bit more upside potentially than Parkinson. So I would go Likely, Goddard, and then Parkinson would be what I would say. But yeah, bro, good luck because I know I'm going to need it against this guy on the screen here today with Kyle Pitts.
Boy. Who's winning, Cowboys or JJ McKinley?
Tune in tonight.
Stay tuned.
Yeah.
They say don't touch that dial, but just don't touch that computer screen. The homeboys giving great advice. You already know, bro. Like y'all ain't subscribed to the channel, you ain't like the channel yet. What y'all doing? Share it to everybody that you know, because your favorite fantasy football homeboys, the best tag team in all the land, giving y'all the best advice, breaking it down. Next game, Cardinals Texans, Cardinals getting 10.5 going into Houston. Houston, same thing we just talked about in the same vein with Jacksonville. They gotta win as well. They're a game behind them for the AFC South Division. 42.5 over under. But I'll say this. I think Stroud and Nico are in great spots today. Cardinals, the pressure, they don't get any type of pressure on the quarterback. So they're a top five, they're a bottom five defense when it comes to pressure rate. They also sit back and cover 4, which Nico and Stroud, for whatever reason, Stroud gets a 30% boost against this type of coverage. And then Nico gets a 20% boost against this coverage. So talk about a tag team. I do think it's a good spot for Nico today and Stroud. I think with Arizona side of things, with Brissett, it's going to be a long day for them boys. We all seen how Houston's done to quarterbacks consistently. If you've been starting Brissett, if you have no better options, as long as you don't take crazy negative, I played a couple leagues where quarterbacks, if they throw a pick 6 or if they get a heavy amount of sacks or whatever, the negative points start accumulating. As long as you're playing a league like that, more of a standard league, and if you don't have as many great options, I still like Brissett in some spots just because I know that if Houston gets out to a formidable lead, then we know Brissett's going to be chucking the football consistently. They're already down, a lot of injuries. The offensive line's hurt as well. But I think if you're stuck between maybe Mariota and Brissett, that could be a little bit more interesting. But I'm not going to say completely bench Brissett everywhere because of garbage time potential. And again, Michael Wilson and McBride, and that's pretty much it. Outside, because the Cardinals can't run the ball. So it just boils down to that. But I think give me the Texans in this spot. I'm not touching the spread, but give me the over. I think Woody Marks is also someone we have to talk about because the Cardinals, their run defense is absolute trash. They've when it comes to their run game, it's like I said, been trash. They've allowed Woody Marks in general. Last week played a season high, 87% of snaps when Nick Chubb left. He's not playing today. Cardinals allow the 4th most fantasy points per game to running backs. They've allowed the last 4 running backs to average 23 points per game in that same vein. So, yeah, Woody Marks' pretty much season is here. You're starting him everywhere, in my opinion. The only thing that might come about is obviously, he's might be a younger version of the Aaron Jones perspective. But I'll say that, look, I think Woody Marks, the matchups here, there's no Nick Chubb today. Let's see how these things go. Just because of the usage perspective. If you play him season long, makes kind of sense because he's a chalk, especially in cash games. And the other note I had before I give this off to Johnny is that Michael Wilson, obviously no Marvin Harrison Jr. today. And Michael Wilson, check this. The only other receiver outside Jamar Chase to have 15 targets in a game or more in a game this season. So I know Houston's defense, pass defense, no fly zone. Amir Petrie, freaking Stingley, all these dudes, their pass defense, their pass rush, immaculate. But if you have Michael Wilson, you got to play him. If you have McBride, got to play him. That's just kind of where it is for season long for me. Johnny, your thoughts?
Woody Marks is the lemon pepper chalk of the week. 33% on DraftKings. So again, no shock at all. That space.
What can go wrong?
Why would you say that? Why would you say that?
What can go wrong?
Why would you say that? Why would you say that?
Because I'm telling you, this slate has got given me the best vibes going on. Because look, how many times we already talked about double-digit spreads already? You only got to do 6 games.
Why?
I gotta be honest with the people. You know what I'm saying? I gotta be honest with the people, bro.
One place I
take care of the
do
people,
before I go in this space, one of the places I would like to, I think I'm maybe this hits. Christian Kirk revenge game. Former Arizona Cardinal. Maybe we get a little something from it. I know there's not a lot like to it, and I'm reaching probably, but like I think it was plus 400 for anytime touchdown when I looked. I was like, why not?
How much?
Plus 400 on DraftKings when I looked.
Yeah, that's not bad. 4-1.
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, Woody Marks, lemon pepper chalk of the week, for sure. You talked about the Arizona offense going against like this crazy good Houston Texan defense, man. The Texans, they've allowed the third fewest passing yards in the league, 172 passing yards per game, and the fifth fewest rushing yards you already talked about. Cardinals' run game is going to be non-existent. And you talked about Jacoby Brissett. Nobody's thrown the ball more than him over the last 3 weeks. Probably nobody's thrown the ball more than him since he's become the starter for the Arizona Cardinals. And then that same respect, you talked about Michael Wilson there with Jamar Chase. So since week 11, 39 receptions, 481 yards, that leads the NFL. Guess who's second? Wait, I'll stop the anticipation. Trey McBride. He's next with the second most receptions. So even though this feels like no fly zone, like with the Cardinals, it might be one of those situations where it is garbage time, and it's just it might be it might be, you know what I mean? It might be a situation where it's garbage time. And then on the other end of things, man, I agree with you again. I do like CJ Stroud in this space here. CJ Stroud is 3-0, 250 passing yards, 6 touchdowns, and 1 interception versus bottom 10 total defenses. Cardinals have and are giving up 347 yards per game. So that's ninth worst in the NFL. So this just feels like it's a recipe, for, I don't want to say a shootout, but it is a potential for a lot of points to be scored. And some of these points could be garbage time points. But it does feel like a really good space for CJ Stroud and Nico Collins. And if you got Nico Collins and you've found a way to be able to manage yourself to be able to get here, this is a great situation for him. So overall, like, I think it's safe to say like the Texans are definitely that's who you got to take in this space. I don't think there's anything outside of that, man. And then we look at like from an ownership perspective and stuff from DraftKings, we talked about Woody Marks. That's followed by Nico Collins at 15%, Michael Wilson at 12%, and then CJ Stroud at 12%. So seems like the general public is pretty much on the same page that we're on. The CJ Stroud is a pretty solid start today.
In agreement. Couple things. So Ken's asking if he's cooked.
Hey, welcome to my welcome.
I have Dak, JT, Jacobs, JSN, Lamb, Sutton, Fanning, Kyron, Texas defense left. No, why? Opponent has Purdy, Etienne, Olave, Flowers. No, you're not.
You're not cooked. You're good, man. You're good.
Your roster.
Yeah, you still got a fighting chance, brother. You still got a fighting chance.
Stop panicking.
Yeah, you got a fighting chance.
Thank you for the plan, Evans. Yeah, you're welcome.
You're welcome. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. We got you. We got you.
We got your back, bro.
Yeah, we got you.
You're running back flex. We talked about this already. Get out of here. Get out of here, Mike. These are moments that I call you Mike instead of Haywood.
Oh God.
Like, we talked about this already. Marks over 77.5 rushing yards is a lock. It's possible. I do think it's definitely possible. Like, I just,
as long as he don't
it wasn't on my like overall calendar, but it's totally possible that could happen.
I like him for a tutty today, though. I do like that.
Just there you go. All right, moving on. Bears, Browns, Bears. Browns 7.5 going into Chicago. Take on Chicago to take on the Bears, and over under. Oops, what the heck happened? Oh, this stupid little thing. 38.5 the over under because it's gonna be like 10 degrees, blistering chilly in Chicago today. But yeah, Bears. It's like a running mantra. It's like we're having these like low record teams playing against teams that have to keep on winning. It's gonna sound like a record today if I say it like several more times over. But the Bears defense, like, they haven't been as hot They play the 5th most man coverage in the NFL. They're a top 5 defense in deep receiving yards allowed. And the Bears also allow the more passing touchdowns than every team besides the Cowgirls. So yeah, Chicago's defense, like, they also are an opportunistic defense because they have they lead the league in interceptions, 18. So yeah, but they just surrender a ton of yardage. So are the Browns in this game? Possibly, sure. But I think Chicago's gonna have to take this one. I think in order to keep things afloat for themselves, this is a spot where Cleveland's run defense hasn't been the best late in the last 4 games. Last 4 games, and obviously the last time we saw them, Tony Pollard was running all over them. So, like, give me the Bears in this spot. I think they may cover the 7, but I'm not confident in that. Because Caleb Williams is sometimes like he's an escape artist, but also just I'm not like is he startable today in your season long matchups? Like, I don't know what to think of in this general spot for him because I've rode Caleb Williams in some spots this year, but also I got Jackson Dart starting over him today. So, what you got?
Yeah, everybody knows I'm a Caleb Williams truther, and today I'm actually setting him. Super flex league, and the other leagues that I have him in, I want to buy. But I'm starting Sam Darnold over him. I'm starting Dak Prescott over him, obviously, in the situations that I have him. And then even for my other team, I would have started Sam Darnold over him, which is typical. That's like the combination I have of quarterbacks is Caleb Williams and Sam Darnold. So if I have Caleb, I have Sam in pretty much every other spot.
20 win show? Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Yeah. Whew, man.
That weather report either week.
The Bears, man, Kyle Monungai and DeAndre Swift, actually right now, DeAndre Swift is 13th in the league right now in rushing over the last 3 weeks. Kyle Monungai as well. I believe he's actually one of the better backs. He's actually got the 3rd most rushing yards before contact. So like this is a tough running game that they got, right? And this is one of the things the Bears wanted to do during the offseason was they wanted to upgrade their offensive line and be able to establish the run. And it definitely looks like that's a thing that's happening. And the Bears defense has definitely been vulnerable, if you will, against the run over the last couple weeks. So I just think this is a spot, right, where the Bears, I just think they handle business. I don't think it's an indictment on Caleb Williams today. I think like this is a perfect situation for things from a fantasy side of things to not go well. Obviously, incredibly cold weather. What was perceived to be a good defense 2 weeks ago. I'm not a fan of Caleb today in this spot. Obviously, I think we know like the pass catchers for the Bears, like DJ Moore burned everybody worse than a $2 hooker. Like, just gonna call it what it is. Colston Loveland, like I'd be in on him today. Roma Dunze, we don't know what we're getting. Luther Burden still not playing a lot of snaps in the grand scheme of things, although like he did almost get us 10 points last week. I just think it's just not a safe space from a fantasy side of things. I think this is just a better. It's not a safe space. This is just they're a better real world team than they are fantasy right now at this spot. So maybe when the weather gets a little bit warmer, or something like that, or they have a better matchup, maybe we can go back to the Chicago Bears. But today, I'm not going to be biased about Caleb. I'm going to let everybody else. And then I know some people ask about Harold Fanning Jr. Today. So actually, I'll kick that back to you because this is what you do, man. This is the tight end game, man. So how are you feeling about him at 17% ownership on DFS?
I mean, see, at 17% is a little high, in some ways, but some ways not. But yeah, Harold Fanning, I think, is going to be. You play him today. You play him everywhere today. And I just think that when it comes down to it, Shedeur has been targeting him consistently, and I believe, Njoku's not playing today either. Yeah,
Njoku's out. Yeah,
and Sampson's out today, which is also a guy that would probably use for receiving purposes. So it's like, all right, well, it's Fannin, and then it's like I talked about earlier, Jerry Jeudy might be a thing today, possibly. But again, the cold weather doesn't set up nicely for that. So I think like the short area stuff for Fannin makes a ton of sense. Like this could be a spot where you have at least like 8 or 9 catches today. because of the overall cold, and then obviously running the football on both sides of the football. First time last game he had double-digit targets. Last week was Fannin, so I think this should be the spot again where with Chicago, their opportunistic defense, but they still bleed a ton of receiving yards in general. So I think Fannin's, you definitely start him in DFS. What is he? My guess is he's 3,700. I didn't get a chance to look at his price tag.
He is 4K.
He's 4K.
Yeah,
that's still a spot I'm okay with playing because look, it's him and Judkins pretty much. I feel is like the overall offense. So I say why not? But yeah, Falcons 5-9 looks so good. Yo, Michelle's got the freaking jokes today. Commanders Giants. Game we really don't care about. So let's talk about it quickly. Commanders getting 2.5 going into MetLife to take on the Giants. And in this spot, look, I think Marcus Mariota and Dart are both QBs you can start today if you're in pinches for QB. Like I'm starting Mariota over Brissett today, just because of the matchup alone. Giants, they overall, they give up the second most rush yards in the NFL. So do that what you will. I think that's also a note for Mariota there, in this spot. And then for Jackson Dart, like Commanders, we seen it. We got burned by them last week. Like, look, like, last 2 week?
No, it was last week. No, it was last week.
And it was still like,
it was last week.
Feels like 2 weeks ago, right? The Commanders, Dart is 4th among quarterbacks in deep pass rate. And then Commanders surrender the 3rd most passing touchdowns. So I think Dart is in a good spot for him in terms of just like, and we just got word that Romadunze is starting today. He will play today. Breaking news. So with Dart, I think him and Mariota, I think they both have opportunities here in this spot. I think Wandell, if you have him today, I think you definitely have to consider him strongly in this spot. Again, both these teams not playing for much, but it's something where obviously, they're still getting paid, stuff like that. But yeah, look, like that's what I got. I think I'm gonna take the Commanders in this spot. It's just really whatever at the spot. Both of you right up today. You got a little money, put it on, but I'll just take the Commanders points today. Whatever, it's not a big deal.
Man, this is like
I know,
like
yep,
yeah, it is. The other thing about this game too is like there's like a lot of like inexpensive skill players to get to, and then like it's a 46.5 spread, so it's like is there the possibility that the points are scored in this game? There is, but there's also the possibility as well. We could look up in the 4th quarter and see a 17-10 game. Like I think that's definitely possible. But I just do think
to me too. Yep.
Yeah. But I do Jackson Dart. Like I do think like that's a really good space. Like this is a really good space for him. It is. I think it's a really good space for him. And you got Theo Johnson. He's another guy, man, that's coming in at like 17% owned as well. Like there's a few players, 17% for Theo, 15% for Terry McLaurin, which I don't know how we can get there. But Wandale, I feel comfortable with. I feel comfortable with Theo. Feel comfortable with Jackson Dart. I think just for me, just because I feel a lot more comfortable with like a lot of the Giants pieces on this side. I think I'm going to go with the Giants, man. In this space here, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go with the Giants. As far as the game goes. And then again, man, like not really a lot to like go in depth on, man, like because both of these teams are really bad. I would say Jackson Dart, 90 plus passer rating in 7 of his 8 starts so far. So I think that's something to take into consideration. And then a lot of conversation about the Commanders offense today too, as far as like what's going to happen with Ja'Cory Crosky-Merritt and Chris Rodriguez, depending on if Ja'Cory Crosky-Merritt does or Chris Rodriguez does play. Does that go back to Ja'Cory Crosky-Merritt? Yeah, so I think there's a couple of things to pay attention to, like in that space. Like if you're if you're kind of in a pinch, in a 10 or 12 team league, you got that going on. DFS, I guess we'll have to figure it out. But right now, the Commanders actually have the currently they have the longest losing streak in the NFL at 8 games. So I think that continues today as the Giants hand them number 9.
That's fair. That's definitely fair. Let's see. So, Dustin,
what up, bro?
What up? Appreciate you pulling up. Breece Hall or Blake Corum, with the Rams stack already with Stafford Adams. Half-point PPR. Give me Corum. Breece Hall, for as much as I love him, like, the only thing that I value in a spot like this with the Jets today is that is there opportunity for him to score a touchdown? Is there opportunity for him to, at least have a solid run game? Or if there's a spot where he can at least start, catch more passes. All 3 of those are no's for me. But yeah, I'm gonna probably go Blake Corum in a spot if you have him. Crazy as that sounds, because it's just, again, like, I just don't know what the Jets are doing here. And I don't want to put my money or like my season long, playoff in jeopardy. I think Blake Corum, there's still opportunity for him to see goal line work in a game that's a high over under. So that's also why I'm leaning into it. And it's not chasing for Blake Corum. It's more about just the favorable side of things in terms of what I see in terms of just schematic, not only schematic, but also like, hey, like the game environment. So that's kind of how I see it. I mean, obviously, it's, either spot's going to blow up in your face. As a high potential to blow up your space either way. So, but give me Corum.
Yeah, I'm with you. As far as like it is. It is. It is.
Oh no, I just saw something else. That's Chris Rodriguez inactive today.
Oh, okay, so there we go for Jacory. There we go. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Question answered. Wow. But you know what? I got a theme. I got a theme for the day. I already got it. I was thinking about
it. Theme for the day, huh?
Yeah, this just solidifies it. Today is the day that all of the rookie running backs all hit. They all hit today. Travion hits, Jacory Krosky-Merritt hits, Woody Marks hits. Like all the rookie running backs RJ Harvey, they all hit today. All of them all hit. That's my hot take. That's it. Yeah, like I think this is it. This is the week. This is the week we've been waiting on. But yeah, like I agree with you with Blake Corum, man. He's actually right now, I think he's 6th in the NFL over the last 3 weeks in yardage. He's averaging 8.9 yards per carry over that time frame. Good opportunity, obviously, in a really good environment for a lot of points to be scored. Obviously, we'll talk about that game a little bit later as well. But with Breece Hall, man, man, they might be lucky, man, if they score 10 points today. You know what I mean? And that could come off of something incredibly fluky. We keep saying, oh, well, the passing game. I would feel a lot different if it was Tyrod or if it was Fields playing today, but no, man, I'll just roll the dice with Blake Corum. Unfortunately, I actually have to start Breece Hall in a spot today that I am not loving.
The Fans Classic consolation bracket?
Actually the qualifier. Listen, I hedge my bets, okay? I hedge my bets.
Talk about another crap game. Raiders Eagles. Kenny Pickett starting. Kenny Pickett. Yeah. A little revenge spot for the Eagles against maybe over under 30.5. Raiders not playing for much besides paychecks and probably bonuses for the end of the year. Christmas gifts, and the Eagles 8-5. I'm tired of talking about the Eagles in a way because they just find ways to just tell me I suck at football and telling people at this. So, look, quickly, the only thing I really got is that Raiders are a defense that plays a ton of cover 3. So that's good news for A.J. Brown, good news for Devontae Smith. But I think in this spot, Barkley becomes very more powerful as long as the Eagles are leading. He's like a top 3 or top 4 back for the last 3 years. Like in this spot, like really when they grind Barkley, they grind him and he's very effective. Lane Johnson back for the Eagles today. Really good news. So I think, and there's also talk from Hurts in the media that like he doesn't want to run as much. So that's also something I'm keeping an eye on as well. So I think Barkley is someone that I think, as far as like if you're targeting some of the higher, one of the higher, price RBs outside of McCaffrey, like I think Barkley at 7,100 makes a ton of sense. In a spot where I do not think people will get to enough of. And I think he might be a nice little pivot off some of the other guys in his range and above. Johnny, what you got?
14% ownership for Saquon today. He's the highest owned player in this game.
Really?
Genty, yep.
14%. Right.
Yep. Genty.
So who else is who's the highest owned right now running backs then? Now I'm curious.
Told you. Woody Marks, man. Lemon Pepper.
Well, yeah. Okay. The next one.
Jahmyr Gibbs.
Huh. That should be interesting to talk about later.
Yeah. So that was, as far as the ownership goes, like in that game with the two of those guys, I think obviously, I don't know, like if you wanted to get nasty, maybe Brock Bowers, like nobody, and like literally nobody is playing him today. 0.75%. Jalen Hurts is coming in at like 3% owned. Devontae Smith, 3%, AJ Brown, 7%. So I think it's interesting to see all of this just from the side of things that, like I think obviously we expect the Eagles to win this game going away. But it's just very interesting as far as the ownership. And then you're talking about Saquon. Him and Ashton Genty both have 34 carries for negative yards. They're tied as far as the most by any player in the NFL with 7 or more carries this year. So just really interesting how, both of these guys were viewed going into the season and kind of like where they're at now. And then, you talked about Jalen Hurts a little bit already. 15 touchdowns and 0 interceptions in 8 games played on Sunday this year. So he's actually doing his best Kirk Cousins impersonation is what I would say at this point. So I'll go with the Eagles for sure in this space. And I do like Saquon today as well. On FanDuel where I'm playing at, I think he is 83 and maybe Derrick Henry's 84. So I've just been playing more Derrick Henry just because I feel a little bit better about that situation than I do Saquon's. But yeah, this one should be the Eagles by a landslide.
I agree. Colts, Seahawks. The moment we've all been waiting for, right? Phillip Rivers, 44-year-old, coming out of retirement, quarterback for the Colts. Didn't give a ring to Cam Newton at all. Yeah. Colts getting 14 going into Seattle with their playoff hopes definitely in the balance over the next couple of weeks in a spot against Seattle that is a vaunted defense and at home in Seattle. Over under 41.5. Question of the week, right? Do the Colts have an opportunity for the plus 14 in this spot?
Man, I don't want to like this was one of the others where I was like, right. And the main reason why like I say that is because I think obviously know what Jonathan Taylor brings to the table. I think like we've all, had a chance to see that this is a bad matchup for him as well, on top of everything else. But like this is also a spot as well. Like sometimes we get over aggressive whenever we look at matchups and are like, oh, this is a bad matchup. Sometimes it's not a bad matchup. Sometimes it's just like, yes, this team is really good. And guess what? Now the offense now needs their best players to have the ball, like, and find ways to get the ball consistently. So I suspect as long as like they can keep this game within range, Jonathan Taylor is going to get a lot of work today. Yeah, I'm with you, Rick. Like he's going to get a lot of work today. I am nervous about Tyler Warren. I am. But I do feel like Jonathan Taylor today, if everything goes right, the game script stays in a pretty decent position, I think like, he could queue up for 25 touches today, like 1,000%. And this also actually, ironically enough, random other stat, this is only the 4th time since 1970 where the league's leading rusher and the league's leading receiver play in week 14 or later. So that's another interesting stat where like, if we would have had Daniel Jones today. This would have been a great game to get to as far as like from a stack perspective and stuff. But yeah, man, I think I'm just going to take the Seahawks at home. I think, listen, man, for all the 40-year-olds, all the people that feel like they can, you know what I mean, et cetera, et cetera. Phillip Rivers, man, I think his passing line was like 150 yards or 160 yards, something crazy like that. Bro, this is scary. I'm almost kind of afraid for Phillip Rivers today. I'm almost kind of afraid for him, man. I literally am. Because, like, he's not like Tom Brady 42. Like, he's like high school coach, like dad 42. Like, you can even see it, like, in the press conference. And granted, this guy's in way better shape than I could ever dream of. I catch a cramp just sitting on the couch. Like, his face, like, looks like dad. Like, it looks like dad face. So I'm curious to see how this goes for him. And, hopefully he doesn't, have to use a wheelchair to get off the field today. So,
yeah, I mean, look, if you have JSN, you should feel confident about that in this start. Like, Colts run the fourth most man coverage in the NFL. They overall, JSN ranks top 10 in on win rate against man coverage. And look, Seattle it feels like Seattle's gonna get out to a first half lead and then just kind of coast. Who knows what that means for the running back situation? Because I'm not sure about Charbonnet Walker, and I don't care to. No. It's just one of those things that takes too much of my decision and energy brain out of me, and I can't do it anymore. And I refuse to. So don't ask me any questions about that. But yeah, Seattle. Not sure about the points, but Seattle should win this one. Any final thoughts before we move on?
Ownership wise, just because I went on my old man rant, JSN 20% owned. And then
old man started today.
Of course. And then Jonathan Taylor is the highest owned Colt at 2.25%. So a lot of interesting things. And this one feels like, again, the one they were like, oh, well, there's these games that have these big spreads. Like, what could go wrong? Jonathan Taylor could be what could go wrong.
8,500
in a good way. So yeah, we'll see.
8,500 in a very, very easily contrarian spot.
Yeah, very, very.
Packers Broncos, a game that's going to be more competitive real life than it is fantasy. Packers getting the slight 1.5 going to Denver. The over under 42.5. Yeah, look, this game kind of spells to me like both these, Denver obviously on a hot winning streak, and they're at home, pretty much trying to lock up the 1 seed. Especially if the Patriots end up losing to the Bills today, they're on their way. If they take care of business this one against Green Bay. Well, I'll say this: Josh Jacobs questionable to come in. We'll find out a little bit more about that. Hopefully before 1 o'clock games start. But these situations you never truly know till about like 2:30 when the games have already gone, and then you're like, oh man, did I leave a flex open spot for him or not? So I encourage people to do that. Please do that if you're doing that. But again, little touchdown dependent is Jacobs, obviously. In the spot against Denver, they've been another defense that's been really good all around. But again, it's gonna be a grind game for I think both teams, especially if Jacobs ends up playing. But I do think with RJ Harvey, now starting to see more improvement all across the board. He's had at least three receptions. The Packers have allowed at least 3 receptions to opposing running backs in the last 5 straight games. So with that stat, also in this spot, we're talking about, again, just 2 defenses that are really, really tough against the pass. So we'll just find out who has the stuff in this one. And I think Bo Nix versus Jordan Love, again, is going to be a nice real life game versus like actual fantasy. I guess pieces for this game, like, if you have Harvey, Jacobs, Sutton, stuff like that, I think you used to still be playing them all. I think Watson's someone, if again, with Jaden Reed back in the fold, I think it's going to be more, for Jordan Love passing around the football, especially if he gets under pressured. So this could be a long game for, I think, both quarterbacks. So if you're starting one of them, I think Bo Nix gets a slight upgrade, but I don't know. It's just one of those spots where it just feels gross until you see it live and you're like, oh, okay, maybe I'll bet this.
Yeah. I don't
sum it up right.
I it's weird because like there's a small part of me that is like, I think this game could have points scored in it. Like if you told me that this went over, I'd be like, I could totally see that. Like I could totally see this game going over as far as points. Like you have some people, I heard a couple people talking about they think this could potentially be like a Super Bowl preview. I don't know if I'd go there. I like both of these teams, like for sure, and I like both of their situations. I know, like I don't foresee it being a Super Bowl preview, but again, hey, as I always say, I'm just a C plus podcaster out here trying to get by on my charming looks and charisma. Patrick Surtain, though,
line over and over again.
It's my go-to, man. I got go-to lines, baby. You know what I mean? I got go-to, man. All the great ones do. You know what I mean? All the great ones have go-to lines. But yeah, like Patrick Surtain, like we talked about him and Christian Watson earlier on. Patrick Surtain, obviously no surprise, man, has lined up the most of any cornerback in the NFL against the team's opposing leading receiver. So I feel like this is it's going to be him and Christian Watson is going to be locked up today is what I feel like for sure. So there's that. Offensively, it is kind of gross, man. I'll say, like, there's not like a lot of high points for both of these offenses. Bo Nix, man, I think he's got like an 87 passer rating right now during the Broncos 10-game winning streak, which is not sexy at all. It's actually one of the lowest ones that they've ever had in NFL history with somebody who has had 10 wins or more. So again, it's not pretty. Jordan Love, obviously, man, pushing the ball down the field. The Packers haven't got a lot of things out of the tight end situation, obviously, since the Tucker Kraft injury. It's just been gross. So there's like a lot of things that are definitely not good. No Pat Bryant today. That's obviously an issue for the Broncos as far as he was starting to come on. And then Troy Franklin, I think he's a nice play in some places, man. If you're in a 12, 14 team league or even in DFS, just him being available in the red zone, I think has been a pretty big deal. So, yeah, like and RJ Harvey, like I said, I'm gonna call today's highlight, man. Like I'm gonna call it, man. I think today is the day for all the rookie running backs, man. I'm gonna call it that they're all gonna pop today. Yeah, like I feel like this is the week, man. Like it's all the stars have aligned, they're all there. Some of them have like good situations. RJ Harvey, Travion Henderson, they're all playing for something, right? Woody Marks is playing in like a really good game environment. I just feel like this is the week. Ownership perspective from this game, Jayden Reed is the highest owned Packer at 8% in this game. But then RJ Harvey is the highest owned Bronco at 7.45%. So I don't disagree. I do think one guy I will call out as well. Just overall, this seems like this is a big game. So in a big game, why not Marvin Mims? Why not Marvin Mims? You know what I mean? Why not Marvin Mims for a big play or a big return? But in this space, I'm going to take the Broncos, man.
Taking Green Bay for some reason. Something tells me like both of these defenses are really good. It's just I just think Green Bay is going to be finding a way to get this one done. And Denver riding this hot winning streak, like you want to keep on doing that. Like not so you don't want to lose a game, but it's like riding that into potential. The only way what I'm saying, it's like if Denver finds himself in a situation is that like just Bo Nix just finds himself corralled constantly by Green Bay's pressure. Like a Parsons and stuff, and then on the other side of the ball, it's like Denver's defense has been so good, and Patrick Surtain and all these weapons, so it's just close.
No, it is. It's gonna be a good one.
Just gonna pick Green Bay. I think Jordan Love just has slightly better quarterback, so I'll just all right. As long as if they keep him upright, I think they can win this one. To a crap game we go. Titans 12.5 point underdogs going into San Francisco. Take on the Niners. The over under 44.5. Before I get to that, Rivers runs the same offense.
I did see that. I did see that actually.
That's crazy.
No, it's true. It's so true.
That's kind of wild. Tag team chance of the world is right. You know what I'm saying? For sure, yo. It's definitely 8. But yeah. Let's see. If I might ask who y'all like for a prop, drop it below. The one I have is Rivers passing touchdown, and then Texans QB over 1.5. Yeah, I have no problem with those. I think Rivers can find himself again. This could be a weird spot. Like, I mean, Rivers, the opportunity is there. So the opportunity is definitely there. That's what I'll just say. Sup, fellas? Yeah, Brad Tom here. What up? Yo, appreciate you coming back. Please like, subscribe if you haven't done so already, sir. Playoff time is here, my guy. Pick 2 for a PPR. So no Rodriguez, he's inactive today. So Chuba, Spears, Knight, Reed, Pierce. Then in the tight end, Parkinson or Jawan. Want to take this one first?
Yeah. Tight end, Jawan Johnson. I think that's definitely the move for me. Yeah, for sure. That's definitely the move. And then I'm actually gonna say I think Chuba Hubbard, I think he's a nice play. So you got to pick one tight end, and then 2 of the players that he gave or that they gave as far as the question mark goes, are just 2 overall.
I think 2 overall is what I'm seeing.
Oh, okay. So that's
Rodriguez, he's inactive, and then so it's between Chuba, Spears, Knight, Reed, and Pierce. Pick 2.
Then after that, I'd probably go either Chuba or Reed would be the next move for me. Either Chuba or Reed. I would say I think I'll go Chuba in this space. I think I'll go Chuba here and then Reed after, followed by Tajay Spears.
Man, this sucks. This is trash.
Yeah, that's a hard one, man. That's a hard one.
This is trash. These all can go so bad.
They could. They totally could.
I guess Alec Pierce for me.
Really? Whoa.
I think so.
Whoa. Okay.
I just think the opportunity is there.
Okay.
And then Chuba or Reed for me.
Okay.
I think it's Chuba because of just it's a tough spot too.
Yeah, it is. But it looks like he's starting to get. It's not even just looks like he is.
I'm still not confident with any of these running backs here right now. We can just go back. We can see the whole Rico Dowell show come back into play today. Like,
yeah, no, you can.
Pierce and Pollard still splitting work. You know what I'm saying? Like, Zonovan Knight. Like, I'm just like, yo, like, these are all bad. You know what? Give me the receivers. Give me both Jaden Reed and Alec Pierce because I do think. Look, I think Jaden Reed's gonna have opportunities to at least get back to where he was from a receiving point of view, and a matchup where I do think Denver's weak against the slot. Obviously, the boundary is a different story. Yeah. But I think against the slot, I think Jaden Reed can have an opportunity to come out and be productive in this spot for you. And then Alec Pierce for me, like I know Seattle's defense is definitely, something where. Sorry about that. And I think it's just one of those things where I think Alec Pierce can be like, all it takes is one shot downfield. And like I said, in the game where they got to keep throwing, right? Like the game script is showing up for Alec Pierce in the spot. And Alec Pierce has delivered for you a couple of times this season already. So I think Alec Pierce in this spot where I just can't trust the running backs here. Like I like Chuba, but I just can't trust Carolina. They didn't work. Spears, same thing. Knight, same thing. It's like you're going to run the ball against Houston today. Like if it happens, it's something I can't really foresee.
Yeah, no.
But if it does, kudos. But it's just one of those things.
I will say this, and then before you move on, I will say this.
Yeah.
I did see you playing quarterback at the Fantasy Football Expo, and I don't know about you being able to hit Alec Pierce, and that's what I'm thinking about with Phil Rivers is being able to throw the ball downfield. Oh man, we'll have to get that footage out there.
I have to get some footage on me whooping that ass this week. All right.
Now listen. Cool, man. You and everybody else with Kyle Pitts, man. You and everybody else with Kyle Pitts. Like don't do that. Don't do that.
I'll get the Tom and Jerry GIF.
Don't do that because you know.
Don't worry, I got it for you. When I win this matchup against you,
just like everybody else that started Kyle Pitts, you're throwing them up to the big man for the 52 spot or the 40 spot that you got in your league. So
actually wasn't.
Take your spot.
I would have gladly taken it.
Take your spot.
That's all right. You can cry.
Listen. We'll be back. We'll be back tonight. We'll see how it goes. We'll be back tonight. We'll be back tonight. Oh my God, dude! I hope Jalen Hurts gets 4 tush pushes. I hope he gets 4 tush pushes.
Yeah,
today.
I was gonna be the humble one. I was gonna be the humble one.
You was gonna be the humble one. What? You get that whole sensitive about you playing quarterback at the end?
Johnny, this my guy. This. I'm not gonna do it
like that. Look at you just praying and waiting for something.
You don't want to hit me up, look, you guys.
Yeah, I sure did. That. Everybody, anybody that's playing Kyle Pitts knows they are some lucky bastards. They know that. They know, like it is what it is, right?
Lucky to have that many points, yeah. But the matchup was there. There's no Drake London. Come on.
There's okay. So this is what I want to ask then.
There was no Drake London, of course.
Okay,
I can understand if
no. Hear me out. If you knew the matchup was that good, did you have a prop on it?
Yeah.
What was the prop?
40 yards receiving.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Not a touchdown, not 2 touchdowns, not 3 touchdowns, 40 yards. Oh, yeah, okay. So, like, we know. It was a career game for the guy, bro. It was a career game.
I'll be the first to tell you that I'm not an anytime touchdown guy like that. So, let's be fair. Let's be fair.
Okay, be fair.
Let's also be fair that Kyle Pitts' matchup was there without Drake London.
Didn't say the matchup was. No. Didn't say the matchup wasn't there.
I let you talk. I let you talk.
Like, that's a career game, bro.
Who else is going to touch the football in Atlanta in this?
Bro, it's not even.
Who else?
I'm not gonna do it. I'm not even gonna. I
know you're not because
you know 3 touchdowns, bro. That dude. Name me another player this year that scored 3 touchdowns, not named Jahmyr Gibbs.
I'm not talking about just touchdowns. I'm just talking about.
That's what I'm talking about. Is fantasy points. That's what I'm talking about.
Right, but I'm not trying to factor just the touchdowns. I'm talking about without Drake London, who else in this Atlanta offense is going to get the ball?
Listen, just say Kyle Pitts had a career game. Just say it.
Of course he did. I'm not denying
that. That's it. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That's it.
You're saying everybody's lucky for starting Kyle Pitts. Not really, because without Drake London, who else in this offense besides Bijan Robinson was going to catch the football in Atlanta?
You make the play for sure, but to get 3 touchdowns, bro, like, yeah. That's all I'm saying. Is it was a career game from Kyle Pitts. Career game.
I think we're both right, but it's more about Kyle Pitts about to whoop that ass. That's all it is. So.
I'll see. I'll be here Sunday. I'll be here tonight at 7:15.
I sure will. 7:30. Niners, Titans. Quickly. Look, this spot for the Niners, they just keep on getting gimme matchup after gimme matchups, right? Does it feel like that for them? It feels like every time I talk about the Niners, they have a gimme matchup. And we have another one for them. So, Titans. They are the number 1 pass funnel defense since week 7. They are trash. This whole team is just throwing garbage. The Niners, however, though, which could open opportunity in a spot for the over, in my opinion. The Niners dead last in pressure rate. This is not a Niners defense I'm used to seeing. They're dead last in pressure rate.
Not this bad. No.
Niners run cover 4 at a top 5 rate. And then the Titans can easily attack the slot here. The Niners give up the 3rd most receiving yards and the 4th highest passer rate to opposing slot receivers. So yeah, look, I think this. I'm not gonna say it's like an upset city per se. But this leaves the door open. I'll just say that. Amongst other double-digit spots today, this leaves the door open. Am I taking the Titans plus 12.5? No. But what I will say is that the Niners, again, another lopsided situation where teams in this spot, they got to keep winning, especially for the 3-team race in the NFC West. So, yeah, that's what I got. Christian McCaffrey, there's this whole thing about him being questionable with a back injury and stuff, and then later was reported by Adam Scheffler he's going to be playing. So we'll just, people were rushing to get Brian Robinson and stuff. So, yeah, it is what it is. Well, can we expect a full workload for McCaffrey in a spot? Maybe not. But the highest price running back on DraftKings today, McCaffrey, do you take that shot on him today? with McCaffrey in that spot. Like, it's McCaffrey, obviously, and if everything's full systems go, sure, but this could easily be a spot for the Niners where I feel like they kind of take their foot off the gas pedal if they get out to like a 21-point lead early.
Yeah. McCaffrey, man, like he kept popping this morning, like in all the DFS builds on FanDuel. Like he kept popping, like, which makes sense, obviously, going against the Titans for sure. Haywood, please don't. We got past it. We got past it. Please don't. Please don't.
Oh man, yo.
Oh my god. Oh man. But
about
like
putting in the laps today too, though.
Yeah. The other thing too, like you were mentioning, like the one crazy thing about the Titans, man, and Cam Ward, like we mentioned it last week, is Cam Ward, man, he wins games on the road. And like he's already won once. Yeah, like, and I'm not saying like this is gonna happen for the Titans, but like to your point, like they might actually be able to hang around this game because again, man, like just over the last couple of weeks, adjusted completion percentage, Cam Ward is 10th in the NFL in that space over the last 3 weeks. He has had some moments where things have started to kind of click for him, if you will, in certain spaces. And I think, like, as you mentioned, man, this 49ers defense, not being the San Francisco 49er defense that, like, you know, we're accustomed to seeing over the last handful of years, the door is open for the space for potentially for the Titans to, you know, I don't want to say to keep it close, but to make it competitive in a certain respect. And then McCaffrey, man, I don't know, dude. I'm nervous about that because it's a back. Like it's a back thing, man. And like that's like if you've ever had a back injury, I have. Like, and it's like a twinge, like it could go sideways. And like this is what we've been. This McCaffrey this year, like it hasn't been the efficiency.
Anything associated with an injury for McCaffrey, it's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, right. But it hasn't been the efficiency for him. Like it's been the volume for him. And like, you know, have we finally reached a place where like the volume has started to catch up with, you know, a 28, 29-year-old running back, you know, when you need him the most in week 14 in the fantasy playoffs. Maybe not, man. So it's a roll of the dice, and it just, like, I know for me in my gut, it just feels like, okay, the 1 week that like I play a lot of Christian McCaffrey and he's got a back injury. Like, I know what ain't going to happen. I know he ain't going to go out and score 3 touchdowns. I know that. So, boy. Yeah, it's a tough spot, man. But I think that if there's anything that, you know, you have going for you as far as like, at least from DFS, season long, you're kind of screwed. You got to play him. You don't have a choice but to play him in that space.
You know.
Yeah, but DFS, at least you got some nice pivots in that price range if you're playing McCaffrey with guys like Puka, Jahmyr Gibbs, and stuff like that right there. So there's definitely some nice pivots if you want to, you know, move off of it for the 4 o'clock window.
Yeah. Other than that, I mean, look, it's just, you know, it's Niners per usual. George Kittle, baby. Bring it home for us then. Shoot, if it ain't Chris McCaffrey, bring us home.
They're all like aggressively owned in that game. McCaffrey 21%, Kittle 15%, Juwan Jennings at 14%. Brock Purdy's a nice DFS play today because you have to think like if things go sideways with McCaffrey, you got to think like maybe it's a day that, you know, Brock Purdy kind of tries to find a chance to get like his rhythm going for sure. Because like remember, like he hasn't played in a lot of games. He's missed a lot of games this year, and he's had a couple of games where he's looked off as well. So maybe just to get him in a nice flow coming down the stretch might not be a bad idea for the Niners.
Definitely not. But yeah, definitely no.
Yeah.
Panthers, Saints, Carolina coming off the bye, 7-6. Saints 3-10 on the year, over under 40.5. Man, I don't know. Like, look at the Panthers, man. They just fine. They look great 1 week. The next they absolutely suck. So, what I will say is that the matchup schematic here, I like Chris Olave. If you have Chris Olave, definitely. If you have any like quorums about it, I wouldn't. Panthers play or run a cover 3, third highest rate in the NFL. Olave, 5 catches, 104 in the last matchup, and Olave averages 2.8 yards per route run against cover 3. So yeah, look, Carolina allows the ninth most fantasy points per game to running backs as well. So cue up Devin Neal. I think Carolina in this spot, like, you just got to show me, man. I don't know. This is the spot for them. They get this done, I feel like they win the division.
Yeah.
More of a statement game in this one.
Yeah.
You got to get this one. You have to.
Yeah.
The Bucs literally gave you this opportunity on a silver platter. Got to get this done, in my opinion. Give me Carolina.
Oh my God. I hate the NFC South. That's just pretty much like what it comes down to for me. Yeah, like I agree with you, man. I think like this is a spot where like the Panthers, like they have to win. I think what we were talking about, they got the Bucs again in the next couple of weeks.
Yep.
Like this is it. Like this is it for them. Yeah, like the Saints have been pesky. Like you don't know what version of the Panthers that you're gonna get. Right. Like that's the thing is like I think the one thing I think we can bank on for the Panthers though is defensively. They're pretty pesky defensively. So I think that is one of the things that like we can bank on for sure. Devin Neal, why not today again, man? Getting the opportunity to start with Kamara being out yet again. Chris Olave. Yeah, I guess Tyler Shuck's been playing pretty decent, man. I will say over the last couple of weeks, like he has been again, man. He's another guy, man, that's in the top 12 over the last handful of weeks in adjusted completion percentage as far as quarterbacks goes, which is obviously like a really good indicator that he's playing some really good football. He's third in rushing as far as quarterbacks go over the last handful of weeks as well. You also have Jawan Johnson as well in play. So yeah, so I think like the Saints, like there's a couple of really good. I shouldn't say really good, but there's a couple of bright spots for them, I would say, in this game. But I do like the Panthers, man. I don't know which version of them we're going to get. I don't know if we're going to get the Rico Dowdle, 18 carries, 183 yards, and 2 touchdowns, or if we're going to get the Bryce Young, 210 yards, 2 or 3 touchdowns, no turnovers, type of deal from these guys. I don't know. But I would say, man, like this is a dangerous space to be in for the Panthers, playing a team like the Saints coming off of a big win against the Bucs last week. And Tyler Shuck, these guys got nothing to lose, man. You know what I mean? They got nothing to lose. So I would just say for me, the game, I'm going to go ahead and take the Panthers. I'm not going to try to get cute with it. But I could absolutely see a space where this game is actually, a 1 or 2 point game, 1,000%.
Definitely agree. Definitely agree with you on that. Serge.
What's up?
Lions, Rams. Lions getting 6 going into Los Angeles to take on the Rams. Been seeing a 54.5, maybe. Let me double check the over under because I saw 54 before we got on, but did it go up a point at all on some books? I'm checking draft.
I didn't check any of that.
The Lions. Okay. Now the Lions getting. I guess there's some decent money coming in on the Lions late, because now it looks like they are 5.5 versus a full 6, at least on DraftKings. Double check your books, people. Lions getting 5.5 going into Los Angeles to take on the Rams. 54.5 over under. Probably the should be the firework game of the week. Should I say? Johnny, take us home on this one.
Yeah. First thing is this is another spot. Like first thing, like I went to go look at was just Jahmyr Gibbs, just from the DFS side of things, just to go look at him and be like, all right, like do I want to play Jahmyr Gibbs? I don't know. I'm gonna play him like in GPP, but I'm not gonna be over the field with him. He does have a touchdown in the last 2 meetings. The last 2 times he seemed to play. But the yardage has not been there. The yardage has not been there for the Lions in that space. They've done, the Rams have done a really good job against him. From a yardage perspective, I want to say maybe like 34 yards or something like that. Again, it's only in 2 meetings, right? And like, you can only hold a player like this down, so many times. But the data is definitely showing that the Rams, do have the secret sauce to be able to hold him in check. And then when you look at the Rams side of the ball offensively, Matt Stafford is averaging over 300 yards in the last 2 meetings versus the Lions. So I think this is a spot where I feel comfortable playing the pass catchers for the Rams, like 1,000%. And I'm also even going to slide some Kyron Williams into my lineups and some Blake Corum as well. Like Blake Corum also made my player pool. I know Dustin was asking about Breece Hall or Blake Corum. He also made my player pool as far as DFS goes today. And then I'm turning back around like Amon-Ra, like obviously in a game like this right here, if all these things are pointing in this directions, like the Lions are going to have to figure out a way to get to get Amon-Ra the ball. Jared Goff's going to have to figure out a way to make that happen for sure. J-Mo is a very, very popular play today. I think we know about like his home road splits. We know about what that is, but we also know what it's looked like as well. Since the Sam Laporta injury, he's had some weeks where he's went absolutely nuclear, and then he's had some weeks where he gave you a goose egg. So I think this game right here, like I'm feeling the Rams in this spot for sure. I think the Lions still, trying to figure out what's going on the back end. I know Devontae Adams has got a little nagging injury, I know as well. Tutu Atwell also came off of IR as well. So just more weapons for the Rams, I think, in this spot. So this just feels like a really good spot for the Rams to come out and take care of business at home.
Yep. I think that when it comes to both of these teams, right, it's somewhat familiarity, right? Yep. It comes down to just execution, obviously. That's usually what football is. I think I want to take the Lions plus 5.5, and here's why. I think Jahmyr Gibbs, as much as you said about the data pointing to the Rams, shutting down Jahmyr Gibbs, no Laporta has definitely opened things up for Jahmyr in the receiving game. Last 4 games without Laporta, Gibbs has averaged 26 receptions. He's been targeted 31 in this collection, not average. Has been targeted 31 times, and he's caught 26 of those, 247 yards, touchdown. And overall, like at least with 4 games, 75 receiving yards. So it's something where Gibbs for me is, do I play him for DraftKings? Like overall like 8,800. It's just it feels like I want to get to him, but at the same time I'm like,
no, it's a scary thing because you might miss out on a nuclear game
too. Like it's tough. I probably will say no. The only way, like I feel like there could be an opportunity for Jahmyr Gibbs to really get loose, but it's definitely like this could easily be one of those games where it's like we see like 54.5 over under and it goes like 20, 24 or something like that, like something where it's like 10 points off the over under. So we'll see what happens. But in terms of how the Rams have been, their weak point literally is just Lions. The Rams are a team that literally is, I would say, a defense that they can got through the air. So J-Mo is someone I'm circling. There ain't been a ton of talk about him today, or sorry, not today, but just in general leading up to these. 6,100 is a weird price for someone like J-Mo, but dare I say get different today at 6,100 for J-Mo, because we all know J-Mo can pop off for the 30 like he did a couple weeks ago against Green Bay. It's totally possible that happens. I know I'm on St. Brown that matchup, whatever, but it's still something where we got to look at in terms of if you want to get a little different. As far as the game goes, I want to take the Lions plus 5.5. They know, and Dan Campbell knows what position they're also in as well. Lose this game, and it looks like I haven't checked the records for standings or anything just yet. We'll have more of a keen on that situation a little bit later on today. But I think if they lose this one, I think they drop to like the 6 or 7 seed. I want to check that real quick. I think they dropped
I got it. I got it. Yeah. Right now they're actually 8th right now. So they're not even in.
Wow.
Right? Yeah, so they're not even in.
I thought they were in.
No,
oh my
so they're
goodness.
not even in. I would imagine that Buccaneers loss. That Buccaneers, well, yeah, that wouldn't have even done anything. But yeah, they're 8th. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
NFC, man. Wow.
Yeah.
NFC is wow.
Yeah.
It's like we got Carolina as a 7-16, but then we have Seattle at a 10-3 record before today's games as a wild card. That's just kind of how it goes. But yeah, give me a line in the spot. I think they have the weapons. Amon-Ra St. Brown clearly is healthy. I just think that in this spot, we've praised the Rams a ton, but they're gonna have to really showcase, in this spot that they can do it, and they're at home. And I still think they may win this game, but give me the points for the Lions.
Fair enough. One thing I will say, real quick, is the J-Mo call out. The last time that Gibbs did get held in check, it was J-Mo, the one that popped off. So if you subscribe to the Gibbs theory of being held in check, J-Mo would be the guy to move to. So definitely dig that.
Yeah, I know. And the price tag, it's just a price tag. I feel like J-Mo should be at least 50 something. 5,700, 5,800, but he's 6'1", so it's kind of, you are paying a little bit more up. But it's totally contrarian, I feel, in this spot where a game that could go nuclear. I think J-Mo can definitely have a piece of doing that. But yeah, this could be a spot where we do a little, SGP lotto. You never know. But going to that, we are gonna arrive at the Knicks prop shop. Weights 122.80 on the year. Dropped to 60% from 61% from last week. It was another one of those weird weeks. 98 record kind of dropped us down a little bit from last week. And, partially because of the primetime games, they didn't hit. They were 1-5. And just kind of just what it is. I've been pretty decent with primetime games this season though, but it's just those games that were really tight. It's just sometimes the props, sometimes they just don't go off because thematically different teams do different things in those high anticipated matchups. So it is what it is. Gonna get us right back into winning land. So core 4 bets for week 15 as follows. These first 4, I got Jamar Chase over 89.5 receiving yards. I got Joe Burrow 260 plus passing yards. Burrow has hit this every single time for us since he's been back. So I'm going right back to that. Jamar Chase, we all know, going against Baltimore Ravens, now no T. Higgins. He's going to have to be the alpha. I can see 16 targets in this one. In this spot for Cincy as they still look to play spoiler. So I like both of those matchups. And I like both of those props. Nico Collins over 77.5 receiving yards. Talked about it earlier where Arizona, they don't get any pressure on the quarterback. CJ Stroud loves to target Nico against what? Cover 4. So I feel this spot, if Houston's going to get up early, this should be something where Nico hits. And again, Nico did this easily against the Kansas City Chiefs last week with Trey McDuffie. So I like Nico in this spot as well. And ETN, pretty much a lemon pepper chalk of the week. 73.5 rushing yards over. Look, we talked about it earlier. The Jets, they are absolute trash against the run. And ever since Quentin Williams been gone, this is a spot where everyone should be targeting. So if you have ETN, fire them up everywhere, especially on the sports books. My other bets for week 15. Trey Henderson over 46.5 rush yards. Buffalo, talked about it earlier, they're a top 5 run funnel defense in a game that both teams are going to really want to have. Definitely like the spot for Trey Henderson there as well. Kyren Williams over 59.5 rush yards. This line's a bit too low for a matchup like this where I don't think game script should get away from either team for them to really stop rushing the football. So I think Kyren Williams is a nice little value spot. Kyron's been pretty money for us over the last several weeks when we've been on him. So we're going right back to the well. Ashton Genty over 19.5 receiving yards. The games that Genty hasn't hit this line over the last 5 was against Denver. So he's hit this line ever since offensive coordinator changed. He's hit that outside the Denver games. So we're going back to the well on that. Travis Kelce, over 40 receiving yards. Call me crazy. I'm going back to the old guy in a spot where, like I said, the Chargers play 78% zone coverage. Travis Kelce in a spot where he usually takes advantage of that. Also, historically, for Kelce, he's also done this against the Chargers in the last 8 games he's played them. So Give me that 40 yards pretty easily. Isaiah Likely over 40 receiving yards or more. We talked about earlier, Cincinnati's dreadful, historically dreadful against the tight ends. So just going back to the well on that. Gibbs over 40 receiving yards. Talked about earlier, I think the matchup is there, especially without Laporte over the last 4 games. I think they find ways to still utilize him. The Rams are still a top 10 run defense, so it's something they'll mix and match. But I do think if Gibbs is going to get there, it's going to be through the receiving game. So that's why I like the receiving yards. Stafford, over 283.5 pass yards. Stafford, he's been decent against the blitz, but it's something where I think Detroit might get it home a little bit to start the game. But then Stafford, he's got to take control. In a matchup where, again, over-under screaming for this, I think him and Golf are also decent passing yards props. So I definitely like Stafford. Tay Adams, the bounce back is here. My rare anytime touchdown bet, Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams didn't hit it the last game. They really didn't need him. So I think they go right back to the well with Tay Adams. And this one, he gets back and to our good gracious, gets his anytime touchdown. Chris Olave, over 60 receiving yards. Talked about earlier, 104 yards last matchup against Carolina. And Carolina, again, they're a top 5 cover 3 usage defense where Chris Olave eats against that defense. Stephon Diggs, 5 catches or more. If you like the receiving yards, that makes sense too. Bills still play a ton of man coverage. And I do think Stephon Diggs in this spot, revenge spot, playing against Buffalo. This should be a spot where this could be competitive, and then Diggs should get his pretty early on. Last but not least, a little fun here for everybody. Phillip Rivers, 160 pass yards. This line for an NFL quarterback, even though someone that's been removed from the game for quite some time, 160 yards for a quarterback in a spot where they should be throwing a ton. Yeah, this should be a somewhat easy gimme. Dare I say? But again, for fun. You play it, you don't have to play it. I'm gonna play it because it's gonna be fun to do. That being said, that's Nick's prop shop for week 15. Let's make some money.
All right, dig that. I was just going through and getting ready. I was just ripping my all rookie touchdown parlay. The only person I didn't include was Ashton Genty, just because I'm like scary about it. Scary.
Oh, man.
Scary.
Giving you all the facts, the statistics, everything. You still don't want to go with that? Gee Louise, yo.
What, with Ashton Genty? Oh, man, dude, I've lived the Kenny Pickett life, man. I've lived it.
All right, fair point. Whatever.
Yeah, I've lived it. I've lived that life.
We'll take my stab at it.
We'll see no, that's fair. No. Yeah, so good luck to everybody, man. Playoff picture for sure. Got some ugly situations going on. I got one league where I got to start Olave, got to start Justin Jefferson, got to start Breece Hall. It's scary hours out there, man. But if you made it this far, man, congratulations to you. You did something right, for sure. I'll just let you guys know, like Saturday, it felt pretty gross not to have like any like real college ball on, and I was just like,
right?
Man, I was like,
felt empty.
Yeah, I was like, this is what it's gonna feel like here in about like 6 or 7 weeks. I was like, yeah. So yeah, man. But anyway, yeah, that's what I got, man. Good luck to everybody, for sure, except for Nick, in his one league. I don't care about the rest of them. He can do well. And it sucks so bad because I looked at it and I was like, oh, dude, I was like, Jalen Hurts, Derrick Henry, James Cook, Rasheed Rice, AJ Brown. I was like, the only person that like.
Well, I need Hurts and AJ Brown. We're rooting for them today. Woo-hoo.
Like the only person that like made me nervous. No, the only person that I was like, bleh, I was like, oh my God. I was like, Devon Achane on Monday night against the Steelers. I was like, you couldn't possibly create a worse script for me for this. I was like, you could not create a worse script. And Thursday night happened. I was like, oh my God. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah. So yeah. But other than that, all my ranting is over with, for sure. So yeah, that's all I got, bro.
Cool. Final thoughts? Yeah. Don't worry. We'll be back later to find out. We'll find out later who be talking the most.
Not the guy that has a 73% chance to win. Not that guy. Definitely not. Not that guy. Not that guy.
It'll be the 27%. You never know.
Not that guy. Definitely.
Why they play the games, you know?
Yeah. But, and, I wouldn't come on here to talk shit.
Oh yeah, of course not.
No.
Of course not.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, no, not at all. Not Johnny Main. Not the passive aggressive person that
I would just look in the camera and continue on, the show, and if it got brought up, then I'd talk about it. If it didn't, then I wouldn't. So
Johnny's so humble. Anyhow, good luck to everybody out there. I got some spots that I'm a little bit nervous about today, and we'll just find out what happens, man. Like, you can't win them all. You want to win them all, but you just can't win them all. So going into this thinking that, hey, I want to win them all, but will I? We'll have to find out. That's why we play the games. So join us back here, 7:30 p.m. EST, where we talk about the reaction show. So feel free to come on and get your your rants out, coping corner, whatever you need for the reaction show. Shout out to my guy Matt Harmon for that. Your reaction show from this past week so far, and then we're gonna be talking about Sunday Night Football between the Vikings and the Cowgirls. So Sunday Night Football action. So along with that, Johnny's got his showdown. I got my props to get you guys equipped for Sunday Night Football. So that being said, we out of here. We'll see y'all later this afternoon. Peace.